I came to Sonesta ES Suites June 1st, 2023. I've been here ever since. It's almost one whole year now. June 1st, 2024 will be a year. I learned about the Missouri state law. Missouri state law RSMO 12 CSR 10 110.220. This is hotels and motels in the state of Missouri. If a guest or client stays at a hotel or motel in the state of Missouri for more than 30 days, the hotel management is supposed to return all state taxes and local taxes to the guests without the guest having to ask. They're supposed to return it to you and then not charge you any more taxes from that point on. That's the state of Missouri law for hotels and motels. At the Sonesta S Suites here in Chesterfield, Missouri, I on May 2nd, I came and brought this information to the manager. Her name is Mrs. DALAL Ali Smareen, Smreen, DALAL Ali Smareen. I informed her of it. Soon as I informed her of it, she blew up on me and started talking to me like I was her child. Start fussing at me, even threatened to want to fight me. And I said, no, I'm not here for no fight. I stand in honor. And so after me asking her for my taxes to be returned as Missouri state law has required her to do so. Now, other hotels here in Missouri, they're honorable. They give you your taxes back. But here at this particular Sonesta S Suites, they refuse to give you the taxes back as the state has required them to do so under law. Um, Come to find out, after she refused to give me my taxes back, one of her front desk clerks named Heather informed one of the guests that telling them the way that she's getting away with the taxes. She creates fraudulent payroll payments and she put them on fraudulent payroll payment statements, and then she has to um, forged a signature to cash it into her account. And so I learned that after you stay here for a long period of time and they know they owe you the taxes back, they start treating you rude. They start talking mean to you to get you to leave the facility so that you won't know about your taxes, and they get to keep them that way. So they try to run you off. But me, I stand for the fight. Um, I've informed the Missouri Attorney General of this incident. I have a couple letters from the Missouri Attorney General. I informed the Better Business Bureau. Come to find out, they're not an accredited business to the Better Business Bureau. I informed the United States Secretary of Treasury, the FBI. I also informed the Consumer Protection Bureau. I informed them of it as well. Um, I informed so many people, including you, PissedConsumer. Um, she's still refusing to give the taxes back at this point in time. Um, so I informed everyone that is of authority in these matters. Um, I'm researching all my consumer laws at this point in time, and she's in violation of Title 15, USC 1611, which she has given me willingly and knowingly giving me false information concerning the taxes, telling me she does not have to return them. She said that there was a black lady that was here before me, maybe about 6 months before me, who realized the same thing and fought to get her taxes back. She got her taxes back plus a free 2 week stay. And then she said that her Sonesta Suites franchise desired to change their policy, but they couldn't change the state law. They changed their policy to where they check you out, no matter who you are, in 28 days. And they keep you out of their system for 24 hours to justify them keeping your taxes and not returning them to you. I explained to Mr. Lau that the Missouri state law clearly states that if, in order for the client not to receive the taxes, the client must not first know about it, and then the client has to leave the property and stay gone from the property for 24 hours. None of that happened. I've been here consecutively for almost a year now and never have left the property. So if she is on the 28th day removing the guest payment and not uploading the payment until after 24 hours, she's still in violation of the law because it clearly says the guest must leave the property all the way together. Not her doing what she do in the computer to make it look right. So she's violating several laws at this point, plus consumer laws and constitutional law. In constitutional law, she's doing what we call deprivation of rights under coloring of state law. That means she's trying to use her corporation's policies to trump the law. And with doing that, that is called coloring of the law. To color the law, you must hide the actual law to use a fake law and make the guests or clients believe in such laws. And so this is how she's been manipulating the system. To my knowledge, her desk clerk says she's only been here for maybe 3 years at the most, just receiving the position of management. She was the housekeeping manager at one point until the black lady did her lawsuit and they had to change everything out. At first, it was just Sonesta Suites. After the lawsuit, it became Sonesta ES Suites because of it. So they're trying to change their names because of the bad publicity that they got from the first lawsuit. Now, what I don't understand is from that first lawsuit, why that didn't teach you a lesson to just do right. But instead of Mr. Lau, Ali Smarine and Miss Heather and Miss Nicole doing the right thing, Miss Heather and Nicole said that Mr. Lau threatened them to terminate them if they followed state Missouri law by giving back the clients' taxes that the law requires hotels and motels to do here in Missouri. So she said that she would be terminated. I have text messages from Miss Nicole informing me of these things, telling me I will lose my job if I just give it back to you, because I had asked Miss Nicole to just do the right thing and return my taxes as the law required so that she won't be in any form of trouble in doing so. And they cannot terminate you if you're following state law. Now, if you're doing something rogue on your own, then they can. But if you're following state law, you and the corporation and everyone in it has to comply. If you do not comply, that makes you complicit in the crime that's being done against all these guests. Now, there's so many guests that have come to this place and stayed past 30 days. And these people did not receive their taxes back as the law required. So that means that's money she has kept and put into her own private account, which is against the law. I think this is called tax evasion. And it's another one where you're keeping the taxes yourself. She's keeping it personally. So not even the Sonesta S Franchise Corporation knows of it. They're not even receiving any of these dividends. She's keeping them all to herself. Most of the people she have working up in the front office is her grandchildren, her nieces, her nephews. But Miss Heather and Mrs. Nicole are outsiders because they're of the Caucasian ethnic group. The group that Miss DALAL and her family members are of, they're Israelis from Israel. And so with her doing what she's doing, and she's from a foreign land doing this really makes her look bad by not following state law or constitutional law or consumer law. She said to me on May 2nd that the state law does not matter. Her corporation law matters only. And I said, well, you're wrong there. And we can do something about this. So it's been such a mental anguish dealing with her. It's been so stressful. It didn't start till one day I came in. At first, I paid $722.63 a week. $722.63 for 7 days is what I was paying her. And I came in one day because the police officers had pulled my private automobile over, and I have a right to travel under the First Amendment to the Constitution, where I don't need a driver's license, registration, or license plates. I choose insurance just in case of an accident, but I don't have to have it. It's not mandatory under federal law. It's not mandatory. So the police began to try to harass me and extort me. I exerted my constitutional rights in the situation. The Chesterfield Police Department bust out my driver's side window and my passenger side window to remove me out of the automobile. At 6 o'clock in the morning, I was coming back from a job at Amazon that I had. And I was expressing to them my constitutional rights, and they violated me on that. So I wrote letters to all of the proper authorities, including Homeland Security, on these matters because local PD have violated my constitutional due processing rights because they do not have the right to pull you over. Traffic is not a crime. You can see that in the United States Supreme Court case, Battle versus the People, and People versus Battle. You can see traffic violations and citations are not a crime where a warrant can be issued. So they did wrong. When they turned their emergency lights on, they violated due process. When he came up and asked me for a driver's license, private documents, private credit cards, he violated due process. My license plate is also considered by Congress under consumer law. My license plate is also recognized as a credit card, where they get information off of to run charges against me. A charge means a charge to your credit card, which is your SESTA QV trust fund account that's in your Social Security name. Your Social Security is the number, and card is the original credit card. So they're scamming and trying to get this information so they can charge your private account, and then at the same time make you pay extra fiat greenback currency out of your pocket. And so to the law, to actual law, that is a violation on the Chesterfield Police Department's part. I filed a $540 million deprivation of rights under color of law lawsuit against the state of Missouri, and it's still in play to this very day. Now turn around, Mrs. DALAL Alice Marine here at the Sonesta ES Suites in Chesterfield, Missouri, desires to violate the law as well, putting me in another situation that's causing me all these mental anguishes and and problems because she's doing it. Now she's threatening me. She threatened to call the police on me on May 2nd. And when she did, I told her, if you call the police, I'm just going to tell them what the Missouri state law says. And this is the reason why you called them on me. But with them violating Missouri state law, as well as she's violating Missouri state law, I did not think I would get a fair hearing, as I'm not getting a fair hearing at this time on neither situations. But I would choose to deal with her situation first because I do understand that the workers, the police officers, they don't know actual law. So I really can't deal with them on these topics. I have to deal with the Attorney General, the Secretary of State, the Missouri State Secretary of the Treasury. And I have been doing that. I have been writing them letters. I have several letters out there. I took pictures of the letters and recorded the letter myself, just in case they try to say they didn't receive it. This is a normal practice of local governments on how they violate the inhabitants' rights, the living, breathing beings' rights in the Constitution, consumer rights, civil rights, and so on. So I did not expect any of this to happen. I thought Ms. DALAL, Alice, Maureen, and Heather and Nicole was very honorable people at first. They treat you nice in the beginning. And then after you stay over the 30 days, they start doing a nitpicking where they try to find something you're doing wrong. They start asking questions as if they're detectives on the police force, asking criminal questions like they're in an investigation so that they could trip you up and find a way not to return your taxes. But it does not matter. Even if you did anything wrong on the property, that has nothing to do with the return of the taxes. The law says you must return them no matter what. There is no reason for you not to return them. So if you read the Missouri State Law, RSMO 12 CSR 10-110.220, if you read it, you will understand that there's no reason, or it doesn't give no reason for them to infringe on the returning of said taxes. And so, like I say, her rates are extremely high. I have paid them. I have paid every time you check in, you have to pay a deposit. I have paid those deposits, and many of the deposits I have not been returned to me. And I have went up and spoke concerning it. And she tells me it takes 5 to 10 business days. Well, it's been way beyond many 5 to 10 business days. And I still haven't received several $25 deposits that she's asked for. Like right now, it's a recent one that I'm waiting on that still has not been returned to me. I ain't even speaking about the other ones, but now I am. She has created a very elaborate scheme in order to smuggle the monies out and be able to put them into her private account. Now, this is my assumption to this. Mrs. Heather, front desk clerk, and Mrs. Nicole has to be getting some sort of kickback from it. Because if they wasn't getting a kickback from it, they would follow Missouri state law, so they won't go to jail under these conditions and matters. They would do the right thing because the law says so to do so. But they have to be receiving some sort of extra monies in order to keep this information to themselves and not tell anyone about it. And then when you ask concerning it, they tell you they'll get terminated if they give it to you because they're supposed to give it to you. They know it. It's in the computer. She'll see what the taxes are in the computer and she'll tell you what they are, but she can't release them to you and she can't use these monies to pay for your room stays. So They're just keeping the money sitting in there dormant until you leave. And when you leave, it's called in law abandonment. And if you abandon anything in law, whoever knows of that gets to keep that if they are hotels, motels, corporations, or whatever. They get to keep your money without informing you, and still that is willingly and knowingly using false information. So that is a very bad business practice in what they're doing. I don't know how many is involved in this. I researched everything about the Sonesta S Suites to find out who are their top owners and CEOs. I found a man named John Murray as the CEO of Sonesta International Hotels and Suites. And I sent him an email to these effects. I haven't heard anything back from John Mary. So I called guest relations hotline of International Sonesta Suites, spoke to the representative and made a complaint and a report there. She tells me that nothing could be done or something could be done. So it led me to believe the whole chain is involved in this great conspiracy to rob the American consumers of their monies owed to them by the law now, not by what the consumer is saying, but by actual state laws that are saying this. And then when you add in consumer law, that's another level to the game. You know, Title 15, 1692 speaks concerning the frauds that corporations are doing to consumers. So to me, this must stop. And most of the guests who have talked to me concerning this information, and even they went to try to get their taxes back, and she told them the same lies, false information that she told me, making the guests think that her corporation policy trumps state law or federal law. It does not, is what I had to tell them. She don't trump law. So you have to keep pushing. They're asking me questions like, what do I do? They're looking so stressed out. They're worried about becoming homeless, as well as I am worried about becoming homeless, because she threatened to call the police and evict me and put me out with all my stuff and my family. And since I've been here, the Chesterfield Police Department has damaged my property, and they didn't have a right to do that under constitutional law and under state law. They did me dirtily wrong, and they violated many sections of law and consumer law and constitutional law. And then they sabotaged my automobile to the point because they took it to a towing yard and they did something to it, because once I brought it back, it wouldn't start no more. My automobile never had any problems. Now my automobile sits here on the Sonesta ES Suites property. To what the mechanic told me, somehow they sabotaged my radiator and the water flowing through the motor. Is something right there. And it never had done this before. I never had no problems with my automobile. Now, after they took it to the tow yard, it won't start, because I didn't give them the key when they towed my automobile. I took my own key. And so when you do that, they're not supposed to tow your automobile. Under law, the third party towing company is not supposed to touch your automobile unless they receive the owner's consent. I did not give my consent. They did not have my key, so they damaged my automobile, because once you put it in gear and it's locked, they had to drag it. They had to pull it without the wheels turning. And so with that, they destroyed the wheel alignment as well. And they threw off my timing chain on my automobile, causing my automobile to be in the state that it's in today, not starting for me. I expect from them right now, since all of this deprivation of rights went on, I expect from them to receive the full amount of my state taxes and local taxes back like the law said. Also, now I ask for a total refund of all my monies and credit card transactions that I used to pay for this place, and a $50,000 mental anguish fee for them doing me like this and putting me through this, with a 30-day month stay in a loft suite, so that I am able to save up enough money with all that money and get me a home from this point and get away from this place and never return. I feel like a prisoner, a slave here now under these conditions. My family is fussing at me. It's all my fault, they're saying, because I'm the one booked this place through booking.com. And the law also states even if the hotel uses a third-party booking, they still have to return your taxes, and the booking that you use, the third-party booking place, has to give you your taxes back as well. And neither one of them, booking.com or the Sonesta S Suites, are following the law in the returning of these things. So that's what I ask from all of these troubles they have caused.